ready to dive deep. Today we're exploring some pretty mind-bending concepts about consciousness, multiple dimensions, and even maybe some extraterrestrial
Oh
encounters.
yeah, we've got this YouTube video we're looking at. It's got some pretty wild theories, plus some personal stories too.
I'm intrigued. Tell me, what stood out to you?
Well, one of the things that really got me thinking was the idea that reality might be way more fluid than we usually think.
Fluid? How so?
Like it's constantly shifting, changing. The video even talks about us experiencing billions of realities every second.
Whoa, billions.
Yeah.
Every second. That really challenges how we normally see things.
Yeah, definitely. It makes you wonder, right? Like, do we ever even wake up in the same reality twice?
Hmm, that's a good question. And if we are always shifting, then what does that mean for our choices? For free will.
Oh, great point. So the video, it doesn't give like solid answers to everything, but it does seem to suggest that our choices, our intentions, maybe even like a collective consciousness, all kind of play a role in shaping the reality we experience.
So we're not just passengers. We're actively creating, even if we don't realize it.
Exactly. And then there's this idea of vortices.
Vortices. Okay.
Yeah, they're described as these energy points, each with a unique frequency,
Yeah.
and they can influence our consciousness.
So like swirling energy fields that impact how we perceive things.
Yeah, something like that. And they give this example of Sedona, Arizona. It's like a well-known vortex. People go there and they report this feeling of a quickening of energy, like time moves differently, and that personal growth accelerates.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. People talk about feeling a real shift in awareness when they're in Sedona.
Yeah.
But how does a physical place like connect to these energetic frequencies and the idea of shifting realities?
Now that's where it gets really interesting. So they suggest that these vortices could act as gateways or maybe portals to to other dimensions or realities.
Whoa, gateways or portals.
Yeah. Think of it like there are points where the veil between different realities is thinner, so
Yeah.
there's a greater flow of energy and information.
Hmm. So is it like stepping into a different frequency band? Like if reality is like a radio dial, are these vortices like tuning into a different station, a different reality?
Yeah, that's a good analogy. And they go on to talk about how certain people can consciously navigate these shifts in frequency, even create simultaneous realities for themselves and others.
Hold on. Simultaneous realities. You mean like experiencing multiple realities at the same time?
Yes. They even share an anecdote about someone who could supposedly do just that within a vortex. Like they could perceive and interact with multiple realities all at once.
Okay, now that is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
It really makes you wonder what's truly possible when we start to explore the depths of our own consciousness and the nature of reality itself.
It really does. It really challenges us to expand our definition of what's even real and what's possible. And this actually leads to another really fascinating aspect that they explore in the video, the idea that children are naturally more in tune with other dimensions.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. Like
Mhm.
they haven't developed the mental filters that block out those subtle perceptions yet.
Exactly. They're closer to that state of pure awareness where the veil between dimensions is thinner. They haven't fully bought into the idea that physical reality is all there is.
Yeah, so they're more open to experiencing things that adults might just dismiss as imagination or fantasy.
Right. And there's this really compelling story in the video about a child who saw a portal in their room and felt the presence of beings from another dimension.
Whoa, a portal, like a doorway to another realm.
Mm.
What did these beings look like? Were they friendly?
The video doesn't give specifics about what the beings look like, but it emphasizes that the child didn't feel threatened at all. It was more like a sense of wonder and curiosity.
It really makes you wonder what we might be able to perceive if we could tap back into that childlike sense of openness.
Absolutely. And the video suggests that we can actually reclaim that ability as adults to reawaken those dormant senses. It talks about the importance of aligning with our highest excitement and passion as a way to expand our awareness and perception.
So it's not about trying to force those experiences, but about creating the right conditions within ourselves to let them unfold.
Exactly. It's about cultivating a sense of curiosity, wonder, and a willingness to step outside our comfort zones.
This is getting really intriguing. Vortices, portals, children perceiving other dimensions.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here? What else does this video explore?
So it actually delves into dreams next and presents this idea that dreams maybe They're not just random,
Oh,
but they could actually influence the reality we experience when we wake up.
huh. That's something I've thought about before. So if we're constantly shifting through realities, maybe our dreams are like test runs.
Yeah. Like different possibilities, right? Right. Think about it. When we're asleep, our conscious mind is kind of on the back burner, and our subconscious has more freedom to explore. So the video suggests that maybe in that state, we can tap into other realities, try out different choices, and even interact with beings or energies that we wouldn't normally encounter.
So like our dreams are giving us glimpses into those other realities and,
Yeah.
and maybe even influencing which one we end up in when we wake up.
Exactly. Makes you wonder, do we have more control over our reality than we realize even while we sleep? Now, the video doesn't like definitively answer that,
Okay.
but it definitely encourages us to pay attention to our dreams and see what they might be telling us.
It makes me want to start keeping a dream journal
Mm-hmm.
just to see if any patterns emerge, What other kinds of experiences does it talk about?
Well, it touches on the whole thing about alien encounters and abductions, but with a kind of different perspective. Yeah. It suggests that maybe these experiences, they might not be like random or hostile, but actually something that we agreed to before we were born.
Agreed to before we were even born. You mean like as part of our soul's journey or something?
Right. It challenges the typical fear-based idea around alien encounters. It suggests that maybe they serve a purpose in our soul's evolution.
So even though they might be scary or unsettling, they could actually be opportunities for growth.
Exactly. And the video explains that the fear we often feel, well, it might come from that drastic shift in frequency we experience during these encounters. It's like being thrown into a reality that operates on a completely different level, which can be overwhelming for our physical and emotional bodies.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like trying to download a huge file with a dial-up connection. The system just can't handle it. But if they're part of our soul's journey, then why wouldn't we remember making these agreements?
Yeah.
Before we were born?
Right. That's a really good question. Now, the video, it doesn't go into detail about how soul contracts work or how they relate to our memory, but it does suggest that we might be able to access that information, through deep introspection, meditation, maybe other techniques that help us connect with our subconscious mind.
So there's a deeper part of us that might hold the answers, even if we can't consciously remember making those agreements.
Exactly. And it also emphasizes that we have a choice in these encounters. Even if they feel out of our control, it encourages us to approach them with love and set intentions for how we want to interact, rather than just giving in to fear.
So it's about reclaiming our power and
Yeah.
consciously choosing how we participate, even when things get a little out there.
Exactly. Now, there's this other story in the video, and it's pretty intriguing. It's about a listener who, during a meditation, one that was specifically for connecting with extraterrestrial beings, had a vision of a feline woman, and she told them to be patient.
A feline woman, was it like a cat-person hybrid or more symbolic?
They seemed to lean towards the idea that it was symbolic, maybe communicating through the archetype of Bastet, the ancient Egyptian goddess.
Oh, wow. Bastet, right. Protection, healing, magic.
Hmm.
I can see how her message of patience would be relevant when you're, trying to contact beings from other realms.
Exactly. And it highlights this idea that contact with other realms, well, it might not always happen in the ways we expect. These beings could be communicating through symbols, archetypes, even our own subconscious minds.
So instead of dismissing these experiences as just our imagination, maybe we should be looking deeper, for meaning and symbolism.
Absolutely. The video really encourages us to pay attention to those seemingly random encounters, dreams, visions, because they could be like doorways to a much bigger reality than we usually acknowledge.
All these stories and ideas are so fascinating. It feels like we're getting a glimpse into a whole different way of understanding the universe and our place in it.
That's exactly what it's inviting us to do, to expand our perspective, challenge what we think we know, and explore the limitless possibilities of consciousness and reality.
But what about those of us who haven't had these extraordinary experiences? Are we just stuck in the mundane, everyday reality?
Not at all. The video suggests that everyone has the potential to tap into these expanded states of awareness. It says that we all have these innate abilities that might just be dormant. or undeveloped,
Uh,
just waiting to be awakened.
so how do we unlock that potential? Is there a secret formula?
Well, there's no like magic bullet, but it does offer some practical advice. It highlights the importance of cultivating a sense of wonder and curiosity, like we were talking about earlier.
So we were talking about tapping into those expanded states of awareness, and you mentioned cultivating wonder and curiosity. Is that where we pick up?
Yeah, exactly. Like we're relearning how to see the world, through the eyes of a child, noticing the magic and the mystery in everyday things. The video also emphasizes spending time in nature, that it can help us reconnect with that innate sense of wonder and open us up to more subtle perceptions.
Oh, I totally get that. Whenever I'm feeling stuck or overwhelmed, a walk in the woods always seems to shift things for me.
Right. There's something about nature that helps quiet the mind and attune us to those rhythms of the earth.
And speaking of attunement, the video also suggests exploring things like meditation and mindfulness.
Yeah, those classic tools for expanding awareness. How do they fit into all this? Accessing other dimensions and realities.
Well, they help us cultivate that state of presence and inner stillness,
Yeah.
which can make us more receptive to those subtle energies and perceptions that we might normally miss. It's like clearing out the static on a radio dial so we can tune into a wider range of frequencies. So it's not just about seeking out extraordinary experiences, but also about refining our ability to perceive the extraordinary within the ordinary.
Exactly. And they say that the more we practice being present and open ourselves to the unknown, the more likely we are to encounter those glimmers of other realities, whether it's through a vivid dream or a synchronistic event or a deep connection with nature.
It's like we're training our awareness muscles,
Mm.
expanding what we're able to perceive.
That's a great way to put it. And here's like the key takeaway from the video. The most important factor in all of this is our willingness to believe. It suggests that our beliefs actually shape our reality. If we believe we're limited to this physical world, then that's all we'll experience. But if we open ourselves to the possibility of a multidimensional universe, well, who knows what we might encounter.
It's both exciting and a bit daunting. It's like we're being asked to step outside our comfort zone, to embrace a whole new way of seeing things.
And that's where the real adventure begins. The video reminds us that we're all explorers, in this vast cosmic playground. And the more we open our minds and hearts, the more we realize that the journey is really just beginning.
Well, this deep dive has definitely sparked my sense of wonder and curiosity. I'm feeling inspired to pay more attention to my dreams, maybe spend more time in nature, and maybe even dust off that old meditation cushion.
I love that. And remember, the key is to approach it all with a sense of playfulness and openness. Allow yourself to be surprised and delighted by what you discover.
So to everyone listening, we encourage you to keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep expanding your awareness. Who knows what you might find just beyond the veil of the ordinary. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.